Hello, boys and girls and all the ships at sea. My name is Ace Lundon, and this is Lundon Calling, the talk show you've been waiting for. It is Hump Night, Wednesday, February 25th, 2009, and it's 7 p.m. on the Pacific coast of the United States. This is the Internet podcast talk show that could get you high. You could become a podhead. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, all you wild and wonderful weirdos out there in Podland. Thanks for tuning in to the live show. And you can listen to the shows that are downloaded also from our website. And beginning at, midnight, Mountain Standard Time, Friday, this show will be downloaded and you can hear it. Now, I told you my name was Ace Lundon. They also call me the Ace Man. Little kids call me Mr. Wrinkles. Little brats. And because I'm a part of a large universal family, I'm also called Uncle Ace and Grandpa Ace. And some folks call me Mr. Lundon and Professor. And then there are those special folks who refer to me as Ace Hole. The pre- and post-show music is provided by Sonic Eccles. More information is provided on the website, so check it out. And I am supposed to warn you in advance every show that if you have virgin ears, don't listen. I do have a potty mouth, and I say some words that are naughty. Okay? Just remember that. Send the kids to bed. Lance Helms is my co-host. My co-host who's a non-bonger, but he is an ice tinkler from Atlanta, Georgia. Lancelot, are you there?
I am, and I'm tinkling away. How are you doing, Ace?
I can hardly hear you. You must be on the other side of the room.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, it's what happens.
Your goodness had nothing to do with this, my dear.
How about now? Is this better?
Nope, it's not.
Oh, dear. Well, we'll work on that.
Yes. Well, suck my toes and call me happy. How in the hell are you?
I'm good. We're approaching.
Well, I can hardly hear you. This is really crazy. I heard you before.
Can you hear me now?
You're
Hello?
getting there.
Okay. Well,
we're approaching. Better, yes.
Okay. Well, we're approaching 60 degrees over here, so I'm thrilled because once we hit the 70 mark, I'm on my bike. And all is right.
You can still talk a little louder, Lance, because it's still pretty soft.
Okay. How's this?
Not quite.
Okay. Well, we may just have difficulties tonight. I may have to shout. Usually I'm the one that has to tone it down.
It's like you've got a muffler on it or something. Yeah.
Well, it's this. We won't name the brand of this microphone and get those people in trouble, but.
Well, folks, as Aristotle said, and I tell you what I said every show, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. And we pose a lot of thoughts on the show. You don't have to accept them, but entertain them. Think about it. It's the educated mind that has the ability to think, and that means all of us. This is February already. It's going to be over in just a few days, and it has been Black History Month. We mentioned, I think, on last show or one of them, that please learn about the Black history that we have here in the United States and around the world, actually. We don't want to be called dummies, do you? Anyway, I tell you, if you want to see a very, very excellent, funny film, see Tyler Perry's Medea Goes to Jail. I tell you, that crazy Medea, I just love her to death. I don't know if you've seen any of the Medea films, but if you haven't, you are really missing something very, very good. Lance, are you still there?
I am. I've seen the first two Medea films. I've seen...
I still can't hear you, Lance.
What was it? Diary of a Mad Black Woman and Medea's Family Reunion. Those were both awesome.
I still can't hear you.
But I haven't seen the third one. I haven't seen this new one.
Are you hearing me at all?
I am.
Well, okay. Maybe my hearing is going. Anyway. Tyler Perry is down there in Atlanta, isn't he?
He is. He just built a fabulous studio here, Tyler Perry Studios. He's he's bringing Hollywood to Georgia.
Yeah, he's one smart man, and those
really
Crazy
is.
Medea films are something else. Well, I know you know. I worked with Mahalia Jackson for over a decade, and as a result of working in personal management and public relations and with Mahalia, I had the chance of meeting a lot of very, very wonderful, wonderful people in the Black community in America. And another thing I noticed, and I don't know if you will agree with me on this or not, but, Medea is quite a woman in those films. Do you know, I have met so many Black women that remind me of Medea. Oh yeah, they're tough. They're tough old gals, I tell you. I was thinking of Mahalia had a group that backed her called the Ladies of Song, and they were great women too, tough old gals. And one of them was the mother of Billy Preston, so I had a chance of meeting Billy. Of course, Billy is now on the other side. Bless his heart. I don't know what he died from, but I know he's gone. I also, at that time, was managing Willa Dorsey, another great Black gospel artist, and I had the opportunity to meet the great Ethel Waters, and I'm saying the great because these are great personalities. Miriam Anderson, oh my God, what a terrific woman she was. Sarah James and the James Sisters, I managed them, and I got a chance to be involved with the African-American community down in the Los Angeles area as a result, and same with Ella Edwards, the wonderful actress whom I've known for like 45 years. Now, Ella was, if you remember, she was Sidney Poitier's wife in one of his films anyway. And William Warfield, oh my God. I was singing at one point in my life, and when I met Mr. Warfield, somehow or other I ended up singing for him, but I sang Old Man River. And he says, "Hey boy, you've got a long ways to go before you can sing that song." And we talked, and he told me what I needed to do. And many, many months after that, when we met again, he says, "How are you doing? Did you learn to sing Old Man River?" And I had to sing it again for him. And he says, "Well, there is a little soul coming through." And I said, "Well, I did what you told me." And I became the only little white boy working in a black dock area, and it was quite an experience. And one day, I had talked with this lady for months and months and months, because when I can't remember what year it was, I had a heart problem, and the doctor wanted me to do nothing, but it's very difficult to do nothing. So I got a job in a what do you call an answering service that they used to have back in those days. And I talked with this lady because she was on the service. We talked every day, well, at least 5 days a week, until we got to know each other and such. And one day I was in a shop on Sunset Boulevard to check out some glasses because I needed some glasses, and I'm standing there and I hear this voice behind me, and I said, "Oh my God, it's Cicely Tyson." I'd been talking to her. I recognized her voice. So she was talking to somebody on the other side, so I went up behind her and I said, "Hello, honey, how are you?" And she goes, "Oh, Ace, I'd know your voice anywhere. So we turned around. We had our first meeting that way in person. And when we were in there, she says, I've got to introduce you to some friends of mine. And that was Mr. and Mrs. Harry Belafonte and their daughter. Oh, goodness, what was their daughter's name? Do you know it?
I do not.
Oh, Sherry Belafonte. Anyway. So
oh, yes, of course.
Listen, that man, Harry Belafonte, he was one hunk of a man. Oh, my goodness, he was good looking. Talk about handsome.
Well,
and over the years, when I was way back, Davis and I did a little job hunting together at one time. And when I had my own shows in nightclubs and on radio and such back in those days, I would finish my shows and then I'd drive on into Hollywood. And I think the club was called Sardi's or something. And it was a jazz club. And I'd go in there and try to come down from my show so I could go home and actually go to sleep. And there would be Nat Cole and Errol Garner. And we had some wonderful times. These are great people in the African American community. And folks, if you don't know anything about them, you should know. Because man, oh man. And Eartha Kitt, bless that little squirt's heart. I tell you, talk about a little fireball. Man, oh man. Pam Grier, another wonderful, wonderful actress. And Frida Payne, who did, what was it, Band of Gold, that song way back when, you know. And through Mahalia, I also had a chance to meet Pearl Bailey, the great Pearl Bailey. And Johnny Mathis. After my divorce, I actually dated Johnny twice. He wasn't my type, but it was interesting. He's a nice man. Then, when I was in personal management, one day at the office there, they lived up the street from me. I was on Sunset Boulevard, and they lived up on either Kings Road or Queens Road. I can't remember. But Joe Jackson came down, and he says he wanted me to manage the kids. This is before they were anybody. And, well, they probably started a little bit. And he says, you take care of Mahalia, you can take care of them. And I said, no, Mahalia is a whole different story. After I heard what his kids did, I said, the kids, they're not gospel singers, they're pop singers or something or other. And I had a chance to see Michael when he was just a little squirt, part of the black community. And folks, by the way, in case you don't know what Cicely Tyson has done in the film world, think of Jane Pittman, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Marva Collins. This is one hell of an actress, and she did all of those roles. So, folks, learn your black history. February is over, but we've got a whole year ahead of us still to learn. Okay, Lance, let's get the Oscars out of the way. Did you watch?
I TiVo'd the Oscars and skimmed right through them. Did you watch them? Did you watch them sort of live? You know?
Yep, I watched.
Did you watch the whole thing basically? Oh, bless your heart. I mean, were you able to stay awake?
It was a ho-hum evening.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, tell me from your perspective, because from my perspective, the whole thing just needs a major overhaul. And I don't know if it's because the standards for entertainment are different now and the Oscars just haven't adapted, or was it more fabulous back in the day? I don't know. I can't tell.
Well, I tell you, it could have been shortened by 2 hours.
Amen. You know what I think they need to do? They really need to just make it an hour and say, here are the 5 awards everybody's looking for. We're going to get them out of the way. We already did, you know, sound edit. And I mean,
you see, all of those type of things, as important as they are for the folks in the entertainment industry who do all the voting, etc., you know, most of us out in the hinterlands could care less who won, you know, this award that we don't know anything about,
I mean, 3 hours these days is a long time. That is a long time.
It was actually a good show in the sense that for any student of the film industry, this was really an excellent show. I was really sad that they didn't allow Hugh Jackman to do his thing because he's so damn talented. They could have used him.
Come out of the closet? What thing are you talking about?
No. He
I'm
is
just
not
saying.
gay. He is not gay. You just would like him to be. That's all, my dear. But,
I'm allowed to have. Hey, we're all allowed to dream, sweetie.
Yes, fantasies are wonderful. Yes, I did think that Dustin Lance Black, who did the speech regarding milk, I thought he did a fine job. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was pleased to see that Penn won for milk. And
his acceptance speech was pretty off the chain too.
Yeah, I like this.
It's really cool.
You see, the speeches were fine, basically, by the big shots there. The fact that they had 4 or 5 stars that previously had been Oscar winners, like Sophia Loren. My God, Lance, she's 2 years older than me. Did you see that woman?
Okay,
holy shit.
But here's the thing. She's fabulous. I get it. But that whole, have the 5 people come out and have them basically read the nominees, that was too laborious. I skipped right through it. I'm sorry. I did watch Sophia Loren, but the rest of it I was like, not so much. Sorry.
Yeah. But, that was an unusual little twist. That musical thing that they did flopped as far as I was concerned.
Wait, which musical
The opening was okay.
Yeah. What'd you think of the Bollywood number, though? Wasn't that awesome?
Well, you like that? It was okay, but I didn't turn me on.
Oh, Ace, come on, move with the times. Bollywood is the bomb.
I know.
Here's what a friend of mine told me. He gave me a DVD of a Bollywood movie years ago. And he's a straight guy, and he's just in love with anything South Asian, loves India, all that stuff. So he hands me this DVD. And he goes, first of all, I can't imagine how it is that Bollywood has escaped you all these years. He goes, because I have no idea why every gay man on the planet wouldn't love a movie tradition where basically, it's this 3 or 4 hour long movie, and every 3 to 4 minutes, everybody breaks out into a big song and dance number. And he's right. It's awesome.
Well, the film won. I'm glad that none of the others got the best Oscar or something.
Wait. Okay, back up. Clarify your statement, because maybe what we need to talk about is under what scenario could Milk, for instance, have been Best Picture? Was it possible?
Well, it could have easily been the Best Picture.
I mean, do you think? I mean, I kind of feel like, nothing against Slumdog Millionaire, ain't mad at him, but don't you kind of feel like Hollywood just sort of all of a sudden fell in love with this movie out of nowhere? And
well, there must be. I tell you what, Lance, this is Hollywood, and this is show business.
Okay.
So whatever is going on in the background between Hollywood and Mumbai, it's you scratch my butt, I'll scratch yours, and. Yeah, I know, I'm cynical, but that's...
Corporate Hollywood, dum-dum-dum!
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first on Lundon Calling.
Yes, okay. That's the way it goes. I couldn't help but think, I think my ex-wife went to the Oscars, and she went to, what in the heck was it, the 42nd Oscars. This was the 81st. Anyway, that was back in 1970 when Midnight Cowboy won, and John Wayne and Maggie Smith were the big ones, and Gig Young and Goldie Hawn were the others. And I couldn't help but, think about how it took her so long to get ready for this thing. Back in those days, and I suppose they still do it. And it was fun watching the red carpet, because back in that time, you'd see these men come wandering down, and even though they weren't, interviewed or anything, they'd wandering down that red carpet with these beautiful women on their arms. Well, in those days, the closeted gays in Hollywood would get in touch with managers like myself, and they'd say, we need a beautiful woman to go with so and so to the Oscars as a date. And I thought about all of that, and I thought about the fact that when Jean went, she said, "Oh my God, I don't have a gown." And then one of our friends he was a major drag queen in the entertainment industry, and a count from Spain, and he found out that Jean needed a dress and such, and he'd go over to Europe twice a year to get Dior's and Givenchy's and all of these exquisite dresses, and he had her come over, and he outfitted her in a terrific dress, That's show business, And by the way, folks, if you do not look on our website, you should, on the blogs and such, and look at the folks that are like sponsoring us. Check things out, please. It's what it's there for. And talking about milk, Harvey was one of my columnists when I was managing editor of the Coast to Coast Times. And if you want to see what Harvey wrote back in those days before he was assassinated, go to our website and click on the San Diego Archives, Lambda Archives, and maybe you can get some information from them, or you're lucky if you live in the San Diego, go down to the archives and you can read Harvey's columns that he wrote, in that day.
Oh, I have something to share with you, Ace. By the way, so I went to a Shrove Tuesday pancake supper last night, like a good Anglo-Catholic boy. And we played this little game. It's kind of a getting to know you game where I'm sure you've seen it, where you take a Post-it note, you write somebody's, a major historical figure's name on the Post-it note, and you stick it on their forehead. Everybody's got a Post-it note on their forehead, and they walk around and you ask people questions about this person, and then you try to guess it. Well, we did it. We had it on our backs, but that's not really the point of the story. So let's see if you can guess who I was. I was a historical figure of the recent past, like let's say the last 50 years. These are the clues that I was gathering. And by the way, I didn't guess it. Historical figure, kind of a superstar, but not really a star. Political, and this is a really funny one. I was like, and I knew it was a man, and I said, was he from, and he apparently was dead. And I said, was he from North America? And people kind of would look at me and think and go, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So they had to think about that. So then I started asking people, well, am I Mexican? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, am I Canadian? And they're like, no. And I'm like, then why did people have to think about it? So turns out he was from America. And I said, okay, so let's go on the idea that he was a politician. Was he president? No. Was he congressional level? No. Was he state level? No. Was he a mayor? No. And somebody finally said, and I said, okay, so he was below the level of mayor? And they said, yes. Actually, I have this wrong. I did guess it. Can you guess what it was?
Probably Harvey.
It was Harvey Milk. Oh my God! Can you believe it took me all night? I was like one of the last people.
Yeah.
It was so embarrassing. I'm like, really? The whole Oscars were basically about this man's life, and I've read the book, and I didn't put two and two together. But yeah, how about that? I was Harvey Milk.
Yeah,
so.
That's a fun game to play. By the way, it's a good social game. Speaking of book, folks, on our website, I'm going to have our Spider-Man post a site that you click on, John Provost, little Timmy on the Lassie show, has his autobiography out. It's called Timmy's in the Well. It is an excellent book. Even if I am mentioned in it, it is excellent. And John has done a terrific job for anyone wanting to know what it was like to be a child star of a hit show, Lassie, for all of the years that he was with it. And what went on in the background and with all of the other young people in the business at that time. This is a good book. So check it out. And maybe we'll get John on our show one of these days, and he can be our guest on the show.
That sounds fabulous.
Yeah, and the Timmy's in the Well. Yes.
Hey, I have another Oscar question for you. So I was a really bad fag. I did not watch The Red Carpet. Did you watch The Red Carpet?
Yeah, I like to watch The Red Carpet to see who they are in the background as well.
Did you notice anybody with a piece of ribbon on their lapel that maybe wasn't red or pink or blue? No?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I'm sitting here checking one of my favorite news sources, the PFLAG National Blog, and they talk about white knots. Have you heard of this, white knots?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Apparently people were wearing white knots on the red carpet. What's the white knot for, Ace? Enlighten us.
I don't remember, to be real honest.
Oh, my God, it's for marriage equality.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, listen, I have a hard time remembering my name at my age. It should have put two and two together. The white knot, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, there was a resolution in, or was it North Carolina, a meeting in North Carolina, a resolution to support putting a discriminatory marriage amendment to the North Carolina Constitution and to get a statewide vote a la a Prop 8 type of thing on the agenda there. And one of the PFLAG ladies, Sue Null from Brevard, is it Brevard, Brevard or Brevard, North Carolina?
Oh, Ace, bless your heart. Okay. Southern Diction. Repeat after me.
She attended the meeting, and she says that they've kind of figured out that the purpose of the vote for the amendment was the hope that it would get on the ballot, and therefore many people would turn out to vote for it, and subsequently it would aid the redistricting in 2010, in which the Republicans would gain a better foothold there in Carolina. And
wait,
she said
what part of this is news?
Well, she said that what part of it is news? What do you mean?
Come on.
One commissioner with whom she spoke later kept referring to his non-acceptance of someone who, quote, chose the gay lifestyle. And that always gets to me when I hear that. He said that he would love his child if the child came out as gay, but he couldn't approve the, quote, gay lifestyle, and the child couldn't bring a partner home with him. And Sue said, what kind of double talk is that? What kind of parental love is that? And she was pleased, however, that so many of the college students turned out for the meeting, and the Unitarian Universalist congregation members attended also. And Sue was saying that she thinks it gets down to the younger generation. She says we're not going to see significant progress until more of them, the youth, get activated to vote.
Amen.
And she says, I'll bet the religious right is damn scared of them. They must see the handwriting on the wall because of what's coming up. But, yeah. Yes.
By the way, Ace, it's Brevard.
Brevard, North Carolina.
Yes, it's Brevard. Okay. You have to really put the R in it, Brevard. This is the South.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, well,
I had an old friend.
Let's talk about...
an old friend from South Dakota. What are you saying?
On an upbeat note, did you see this news on the
I couldn't hear what you said.
veterans? Yes, the veteran. This is another story on the PFLAG National Blog, PS, but it was reported in the Arizona Daily Star, which I believe is a little bit close to you. The Veterans Administration has acknowledged that it is considering a change to its policy that bars transgender vets from receiving any assistance for gender reassignment surgery. This is a major breakthrough.
Yes, it is.
It really does. It really is.
By the way, folks, you can. I want you to check out the link on our site to one of the VFW talk show folks that is listed there too. I had a call from an old friend in South Dakota, and because of the economy and such, she was let off work, and she has decided that she's going to now go on for, well, she's raised her family, she's a single mom, she's going to go on for her nursing degree finally, but she's moving to North Dakota. Oh, I said, Margaret Testerman, what are you doing going to North Dakota? I can't believe it. I said, it's cold in South Dakota. It's colder in North. And she said, yes, I know. But she says she has a chance of going to college up there and get that degree. So congratulations, Margaret. We're all going to be doing crazy things during this economic crap that we're in to try to move forward in our lives. And I really applaud you for thinking about now going on with your degree for nursing and such. So bless your heart, Margaret. That's it. How old do you have to be before you can vote, Lance?
18.
Okay. How old before you can marry without parental consent?
Oh, I would say it depends on the state.
You're correct there. I think the minimum age was 16, I believe.
Oh, that's got to be in like Arkansas.
It's down south someplace. How old do you have to be before you can legally drink liquor or beer?
21, except does Louisiana still get a free pass on 18, or did they step in line?
No, I think it is 18 there, yeah.
Well, you know the way the feds enforce.
You heard there is talk now about allowing kids to sue their parents for secondhand smoke.
Yeah, I mean that.
And I said, oh, sure, why not? I'm sure they have the brains to sue their parents since they can't vote until they're 18. They can't marry until they're 16 or 18. They can't drink liquor until they're 18 or 21. Why not let them sue their parents? They certainly have the brains. Or I thought, well, maybe it's just another greedy attorney idea. Oh, that's a goodie. Or maybe it's the same Bible-toting, overweight politicos who want to pass a morality law. Yeah, let's make immorality legal. Have you ever heard of that one before? Sure. It always works, doesn't it? So, my God, folks, you don't have to agree with anything we're saying, but entertain the thought, okay? You got to think about this because there are some pretty crazy things going on out there, you know. So God, allowing kids to sue their parents. Okay, take the little brats away from them, stick them in a foster home so we can pay for them after they sue their parents because they're not going to, parents are, good God, what are we getting ourselves into? Oh, Lord. I had a man the other day tell me that his most prized possession was his kids. Have you ever heard that, Lance?
Are you disagreeing?
My kids are my most prized possession. And I
you
thought,
don't.
Oh, really?
That's just because he doesn't have any jewelry.
Get real. So I said to him, I says, Oh, so the kids are your most prized possession that you have. Well, what got you those kids? And he says, what do you mean, what got me? I said, what got you those kids? I said, can you think of a little, maybe 3-inch thing that hangs down between your legs that got you those kids? That, my friend, is your most prized possession if you're a man.
3 inches? Ace, London, speak for yourself. Oh
well, God. I was speaking for him. I was speaking for him. That's a man's most prized possession, ladies. And don't you ever think that when they tell you, oh, honey, you're the most prized possession in my life. No, no, no. Men know what their prized possession is. Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Tell me London, the feminist. I love it.
I have a little bit of feminism in my brain, the same as all men do, you know? Tell me what you think of when you hear this. Diabetes, heart problems, knee and feet trouble, high cholesterol. What do you think of when you hear those things?
Some aging, fat European king from about 500 years ago. Why?
Fat, overweight, yes. Those things relate to overweight problems, diabetes, heart problems, knee and feet trouble, high cholesterol, etc., etc. And can you believe this? Denny's and IHOP are giving away free pancakes. Please. Since we have to protect everyone from our sins these days with, getting the little kids to sue their parents for secondhand smoke, how about a law against secondhand fat with Denny's and IHOP maybe? Good God. Folks, I've talked about overweight both on my radio show and on this internet show. I talk about it because I have had a lot of family and friends who have succumbed way too early in life because of this overweight obesity problem. If I didn't give a shit about you, I wouldn't talk about it. But I happen to care more than I am even able to say. Please get your act together. Do not be in denial. And if you have little children and they're rolling around on the floor, for God's sake,
they're going to sue you
about it. Huh?
They're going to sue you for making them fat and beating them and smoking around them.
God, Oh, Lord, help us.
Ace, you took your curmudgeon pill today. What's gotten into you?
I've had time to think about all these crazy things that have been going through my...
So this brings me to something I wanted to talk about tonight. Maybe this is a good segue. What is your Lenten discipline this year?
My what?
Your Lenten discipline. Do you know what today is on the liturgical calendar?
No, you're talking about all that religious stuff,
Oh, but you know what? At its root, it's spiritual. And there's not a spiritual tradition on the planet that doesn't encourage you to adopt a spiritual discipline.
Oh, you think so, huh? Well, I have spiritual disciplines.
I know so.
My spiritual disciplines are year-round. I don't just adopt one when it comes I just don't go out and buy a hat because Easter's coming, No, it's whatever it is all year round.
For Mother's Day, too.
Yeah. I guess I probably am, the white man's Whoopi Goldberg, I am what I am. You like it or not, take it or leave it. I don't pull any punches. So, it's just me all year round. and I'm the same. Of course, you may think I'd change. It's only because you haven't experienced that new little side of me, maybe.
Well, here's the reason I bring up Lenten discipline, because I think you're onto something with this whole diabetes away, thing. And that is, we have a major portion control issue in this country. Major portion control issue. We're just a nation of overeaters.
Tell me. They say that old people eat less as you get older. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but, I think I'm eating pretty much the same as I always have.
I've cut way back.
When I'm hungry, I eat. I don't like to overeat. Once in a while, I do, and then I suffer. And I say,
yeah.
Why did I myself? But
I'll tell you, we all eat like it's our last meal and we're going to the chair. I mean, or like we don't know where our next meal is coming from.
Well, we don't know where our next meal is coming from, but that doesn't mean we strip the kitchen.
I don't know that the kitchen is to blame. I think it's when you eat out. It's like, here's your gigantic brontosaurus burger portion. It's like, it's in our culture. It's like if you go to a restaurant and the food is not hanging off the side of the plate, you feel like you got cheated. And I'm like, I think you got cheated if they gave you like an oversized helping of crap.
Well, I know. I was in a restaurant a while back, and Big Bobby Bull Moose and Two-Ton Tessie were sitting there eating pancakes. And they had double, instead of eating 3 pancakes, they had 9. And I said to myself, well, now, unfortunately, I'll bet they have no idea how they got so large.
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate. I'll tell you what, it's not going to happen to me. I had 2 grandparents develop adult onset diabetes, and I'll tell you, it's really that's what made my mind up for me. It's absolutely not going to happen.
Yeah,
absolutely not going to happen to me. But more importantly, did you hear about Leona Helmsley's estate?
The one that she left to her dog?
Yes, but did you see the update that was posted today? I'm getting it from the New York Times.
What did she do?
Well, apparently the judge overseeing the probate of her estate has ruled that the billions, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking billions of dollars that she said need to go into a charitable trust for dogs don't have to be spent solely for the care and welfare of said dogs. You know what that means? It's going to be a cat fight, baby.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you, anybody that has something when they die and leave it to others, there's usually a cat fight, especially if it's a lot. It's just the greed of the human animal. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, going back to that thing, choosing a gay lifestyle, I get so tired of this. Who are you, folks? Have you ever thought of that? Who am I? Who are you? Really? Can you choose to be someone you are not? Now, you know that I'm a gay man. And when somebody said to me the other day, well, you didn't have to choose to be gay, it meant that she was saying that I was a straight man who chose to be gay. And I thought to myself then, and I'm thinking it now, if this is a truism, and we are all actually straight, then my straight friends listening in, you or anyone, could actually choose to not be straight if you wanted to. Right? Isn't that sense? Common sense? So, folks, all of you straight men out there, you think that I chose to be gay? That means you could choose it too. But I'll bet you can't. Not if you're not gay. Now, you could be gay and in the closet, and then you could choose to be gay out of the closet. But that's no big choice. That's just being truthful and honest with yourself and your God and everything else. You didn't choose to be gay and have a gay lifestyle. You just chose to be who you really are and you did it so that now it's in public. But, what does a straight man think about? Okay, a straight man. He's thinking about tits and ass. And yes. Don't give me any bullshit. I know that that's what he's thinking about.
Now, well, here's what I can tell you about a straight man in the state of Utah named Chris Butters. Are you familiar with this story?
No.
Here's what's on this straight man's mind. These are direct quotes. To me, and after I read you this, I'll tell you what position of power he's in. To me, homosexuality will always be a sexual perversion, and you say that around here now and everybody goes nuts. But I don't care. They say I'm born that way. There's some truth to that, and that some people are born with an attraction to alcohol. One drink and you're gone. Their number one goal is to, and this is a direct quote, just to proselyte, whatever that is, youth. That's why I threw them out of the schools. I said, it's not a friendship club. That's a recruiting station. They're mean. They want to talk about being nice. They're the meanest buggers I've ever seen. It's just like the Muslims. Why do people always want to compare the Muslims and terrorists? Muslims are good people and their religion's anti-war, but it's been taken over by the radical side. And the gays are totally taken over by the radical side. You don't see the gay out there saying, let's not do this. Let's not do this, gang. You see them marching around with signs and everything else. Do you know who that was?
No.
This is a Utah state senator. His name is Chris Butters. And once again, I'm reading from the PFLAG National blog. And the headline on the blog post is Buttersaurus.
Oh, God.
Why do they call him that?
Going back to what I was saying there, Lance, a straight man, let's face it, he thinks about tits and ass, eating a little pussy, etc., etc. That is normal.
London, he went 47
That's
minutes
normal.
without saying a word.
That is normal, Lance. And that's fine. Tell me a gay man.
But Ace,
Tell me a gay man that thinks about that.
Ace, man to man. Okay. I don't really walk around thinking about penis. It's kind of not my thing.
You don't walk around thinking about penis?
No, you're generalizing. You're saying every straight man walks around thinking about poo nanny. It's not true.
No, but I'm talking about when they think about their sexual appetites.
I guess.
A gay man is not going to say, oh, gee, I can hardly wait to get into bed and screw her and eat her, etc., etc. No. A gay man wants to get into bed with another man. A straight man wants to get into bed with a woman. And it's that simple. And you can't
I'm not disagreeing with you.
You can't be what you're not, folks. If you're straight, learn to live with it. Cope.
Ace, honey, we might be preaching to the choir tonight.
No, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I tell you.
Well, here's the good news on our good friend Chris Butters. He has been stripped of at least one committee appointment in the Senate. I think this is remarkable for the state of Utah. I mean, this is a state, we all know what we know about Utah, and we can make some generalizations and say, gee, it's not shocking that the Senate is run by the Republicans and the Democrats are a minority. But the Senate president, and that means he's in the Republican ruling party, removed him from, let's see, what position was it? He removed, Judiciary Committee. Butters he was the chair of a Judiciary Committee in the Utah State Senate, and the
Republican Senate president removed him. He has not been removed from all of his positions. But I'll tell you what, Ace, it's always shocking. I mean, this guy basically, this was a Sally Kern style rant. And it's all up there, for anybody to read that wants to read it. But the fact that the reaction from the Salt Lake Tribune, they were the one. This is where the Buttersaurus headline on this blog comes from. The Salt Lake Tribune's editorial board wrote, "Butters is what he is, quote, colon, an embarrassment to the state of Utah and, increasingly, a dinosaur." Mm-hmm. So you've got Salt Lake Tribune saying, guy's irrelevant. You've got the Republican-run legislature going, yeah, this is ridiculous. He can't be running the Judiciary Committee. I mean, it's a great day in America.
Well, we are moving forward. We are progressing with a little bit more of education and things like this.
Speaking of Black History Month, we forgot almost the most important thing. Did you hear that the NAACP came out on what? Did you hear about this?
Tell me.
Came out against Proposition 8.
Against it?
Yeah, this was the news. This was the news flash, I think, of this morning. It probably came down yesterday. Of course, the story is against Proposition 8 because that's not the question anymore. The story is the NAACP is calling on California to overturn it.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
We're making a little bit of progress, yes. Hey, did you hear about those two men sitting next to each other at this bar? A little Irish pub, after a while.
Oh, Ace, what about the two of us?
Well, one guy looks at the other and says, "I can't help but think from listening to you that you're from Ireland." And the other guy proudly responds, "Yes, that I am." And the first guy says, "Well, so am I, and whereabout from Ireland might you be?" "Well, I'm from Dublin, I am." "Oh, so am I." "Well, sure and begorra, and what street did you live on in Dublin?" "Well, I lived on a lovely little area. I lived on McCleary Street in the old central part of town." "Oh, faith and begorra, and it's a small world. So did I. And to what school would you have been going?" "Well, now, I went to St. Mary's, of course." And the first guy gets really excited and says, "Oh, so did I. Tell me, what year did you graduate?" "Well, now, let's see. I graduated in 1964. "Oh, good Lord. You must be smiling down on us. I can hardly believe our good luck at winding up in the same bar tonight. Can you believe it? I graduated from St. Mary's in 64 me own self." Well, about this time, Vicky walked into the bar and she's been sitting listening. She orders a beer and the bartender comes to her and says, "Oh, Vicky, it's going to be a long night tonight." "Well, why do you say that, Brian?" "Oh, the Murphy twins are pissed drunk again."
Oh, now there's a good joke to go into Lent with.
A good joke what?
To go into Lent with. Making fun of our Irish Catholic brothers and sisters.
We haven't talked at all about the 25 things on Facebook, but we're going to have to do that probably next show because
we talked about it last week.
What?
We talked about it last week.
We didn't finish. I have some very, very good questions to ask about you, like a clogger, military school. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was a dancer and an expert marksman. What do you want?
And you dated Letterman's nephew? Mm-hmm. I want to know about these things, but
you are late to this party, Ace. How come you didn't call me out on that stuff in the first round?
Because we didn't have time. And I wanted to know you're a black belt procrastinator, and you suck at planning. And I wanted to know if I should get my whip out for you or something, Anyway.
I mean, crack away. I
respond to deadlines. I really do. But in the absence of a deadline, I will get nothing done.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. No, we can talk about all that stuff. That stuff. I'm an open book.
Yes.
It's all out there. I'm not in denial of any of it.
No, you better not be, because
I'm well aware of my weaknesses.
I'm an old reporter, and I'll pull it out of you.
All right, it's on.
Did you hear what Governor Rick Perry is doing down in Texas before we end up with closing the show today?
Please tell me he's not executed.
They are proposing a law in Texas to have a woman be shown her ultrasound or sonogram or whatever that is of her unborn child if she has requested an abortion, and she would
talk about stuff like it's news. This is old school. They've been doing this for 20 years.
Well, no, but this is a new law that they're trying to put through now.
It's not the first time this has ever been proposed.
Oh, I'm sure. But we got to tell our Texas people down there that are listening in, take note, folks. Ladies, if you don't want to see your sonogram or whatever they're called of your unborn child and you want to have an abortion, you shouldn't have to look at that. What they're trying to do is make you feel guilty for having an abortion. It's your life, honey. It's your life, honey. You should do with your life whatever you want to do. As a man, I have no idea what you're going through when you get pregnant. The only thing I know about is how you got pregnant,
You and your 3 inches, Ace.
Yeah, well, my 3 inches. You can...
I know exactly what the Texas legislature...
You can triple that baby, honey.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. We had to take it there.
So what's ahead for you this week besides work and trying to survive in our dear economic times?
Well, this weekend I will be working a health fair for my
company. Health fair?
Yeah, but not a health fair at one of the local malls here in Atlanta.
Excellent.
To take charge of their health, absolutely. I'm all about the health. I may not be the best practitioner, but I have my days. I get on my bike, I practice portion control, I try to cut back on the animal, products and byproducts, and some days are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get my 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day. I just spread it out over the week. Okay.
Yeah.
By Friday, I had a day's worth. It's great.
Oh, I'm a strong believer in preventive medicine, So,
well, you know what? Do you remember what Hippocrates said about food?
What did Hippocrates say?
He said, let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food.
Yes, that's a wise man. That's why they called him Hippocrates, probably. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, folks, we are getting close to the end. I did the second on my roof here this week, so hopefully now when we finally will get some rain, who knows when that'll be, I won't have any more leaks coming in. And I did a little dog sitting this past week for a friend, and he had 2 little, they weren't quite year-old chihuahuas. They were so adorable, I can't believe it. Oh, my God. And I have a new little dog, as you know, and she and I are getting acquainted. Her name is Honey, and you've got a little one named Daisy. And I tell you, these little ones, they keep us busy. But
she really is.
They learn,
Oh, she's learning so fast.
Yeah, my little Honey is learning how to let me know when she's hungry, let me know when she needs to go outside, let me know. She's teaching me, and then I have to teach her my words so she learns to respond to my words, And
right.
we just had a good time. And anyone who has a pet, they know how wonderful it is in their life to be able to have a pet that just loves you, no matter what and who you are. So, folks, you love others in that way, and we'll be seeing you again next week. Same time, same internet. Love you.
Good night, everyone.